I thought offensively we did, some good things. Continue to move the ball, pretty good pace. Sharing the ball as best we can. We struggled obviously from three. Had some good looks. It, didn't go down, but more concerned with defensive stuff. We saw some situations last night and very similar tonight in our overall disposition on the ball. Just one-on-one piece, the coverage mistakes. And I know we're going to have to deal with some of it as guys get more accustomed to being in those situations, but need to see a little bit more carryover, from night to night. See a little bit more growth on that side of the ball.
When you say disposition on the ball, you mean lack of containment, lack of aggressiveness?
No, containment and for some. I thought in general, like Q, I thought he was terrific on the ball. There were some situations where, could be better. Pick and roll communication, at times wasn't great, but disposition is one thing, but then being able to defend without fouling. We saw it last night. We saw it again tonight. 40 free throws for them. Trey gets 18 of them. So it goes beyond just, can we contain the ball? Can we do so without fouling? The proper technique, showing your hands and not getting caught in a bad way.
Had the Gafford Huff lineup in the second half. What were you experimenting with there?
Well, very similar. Huff can space the floor a bit. Gaff, is a roller, and I thought he put pretty good pressure on the rim. Had a couple of lob plays. Gives you a little bit more length, size. Mimics kind of KP Gaff dynamic to an extent, but not quite the same. But just as far as positional.
What do you like about Johnny's floater game?
Well, he works on it, and I know it's analytically not a optimal shot. I think as he gets aggressive, he gets downhill. If it's something he works on and shoots it at a pretty good rate, I think you live with it. But just the mix of shooting the pull-up, mid-range pull-up, shooting the spot three, stopping behind in DHOs or pick and rolls, attacking the paint, getting downhill. I think just the balance of all those actions I think are good for him.
As Daniel continues to develop, how do you and your coaches go about deciding whether he should be expanding his range in games?
Well, I think, that'll come. Right now I think you want to continue to play it to his strengths. He's done a really good job of finishing around the rim, slowing down a lot. I thought last year he would bobble a lot of those pocket plays. He's able to gather, get himself under control, finish through contact, making free throws at a much better rate. So all those things I think are great. He can continue to, let that evolve. Eventually he'll get there, and I think that's just something that you work on over the summer, and then we'll start, implementing those things along the way.
No, I asked you last night about Isaiah. I guess presumably Jay and Xavier have not had a lot of practice time as well.
Right.
Where is he not getting minutes right now?
Well, it's just the byproduct of wanting to see some other guys. I think it's, maybe it's not fair, but, I think it just give those guys some opportunity to play with, different groups and pairings, just to see what they have and, how it fits, how does it fit with Johnny? How does it fit with, X? So it's a lot of open-ended questions that I want to just kind of use different things and try different things. So it's nothing against Isaiah at all. It's just more getting a look for some other guys.
So is it fair to say that just given that he's been in the building for 2 years, you guys have a better sense of?
No, there's no question.
Just coming out with an aggressive mentality on offense. It's also shout out to my teammates too, though. They're getting me the ball in positions where I can score and make plays.
We see the improvement from the start of the season, but in what ways do you think you improved the most?
I'd probably just say mentally, just coming out, not overthinking too much, and just playing basketball. That's all.
How difficult is that to do when you're trying to learn a new team, new teammates?
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody. Some rookies adjust right away. Some take a little bit of time. Just took me a little bit of time, I would say. That's all. But it's always about just staying ready, and when your opportunity is given to you, just making the most of it.
You talked about your floater last night, but you've been one for taking that step beyond the free throw line. What's your range with your
probably that deep. Yeah, I don't think I would go any deeper than that.
When you're out running with guys that you played with a go-go, do you feel like a little bit more cohesion with those guys compared to guys who maybe you're trying to get used to?
No, I think it's just all about just playing free. It doesn't really matter who's on the court as long as everybody just knows the offense, knows where to pick and choose their spots at. Just pressure them on the ball, especially make them feel uncomfortable, and those guys are just really good at drawing fouls and snaking, getting into the lane and making plays or hitting floaters. So it was definitely tough, but I'm just trying to make it as hard on them as I can.
One play that you had where you kind of created space with 𝗙𝗢𝗎𝗓𝗓, mid-range jump shot. What are you reading there to execute that?
Yeah, when I drove left, he had most of his momentum trying to cut me off, so it was just a simple pullback, and I seen all the space I created, and I just rose up for the jumper.
I know it's early, I know it might be premature to ask, but have you determined where you're going to spend the bulk of your offseason, whether it's in D.C. or Wisconsin?
I think I'll probably spend the bulk of it in D.C., just putting on some pounds of muscle and just also just staying in the gym, sharpening my tools.
The pounds of muscle thing, is that weight room?
Yeah.
Or is it weight room and, well, of course, I know that, but is it weight room and diet? How much of it is
Sure, probably a little bit of both, but I would say mostly weight room. Obviously when you got long seasons like this and a lot of games, you don't lift as much as you should, but you just lift to maintain the weight you have. But this offseason, I look to put on a couple pounds.
you're more of a wiry guy, right?
Yeah.
What do you think your potential is in terms of getting stronger and bigger that you're certainly a little more strength?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably no more than 10 pounds. Like you say, I'm wiry. I like to be fast, explosive, and quick out there. So I just need a little bit more of an edge, though, especially defensively.
I paid attention to it like after my last free throw, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
What was wrong with you so well, 25 points in 3 quarters?
Really just not giving up. Still just playing and just having fun with the game. That's the main thing. Going hard on the glass, playing defense. Making it easy for us. Having good defense, getting us into some easy offense and stuff, and just cleaning up everything around the basket, catching everything around the basket.
When you started at the beginning of the season, you went through some lulls to where you are now. Where are you happiest with the improvement you've made this season?
Really just, my confidence level. I feel like it has actually grown throughout this season, and I've kind of showed spurts of just really just being poised in my game and just showing some of the things that I've worked on throughout the off seasons, and just really just working on like my mental. That's the main thing, and so I really just pat myself on the back with some of the things that I've overcame throughout the season. Of course, there's been a lot of frustration. Of course, there's been a lot of disappointment, but I just come out and I still play.
Speaking of what's better in the offseason, I think very early in the game, you got an offensive rebound, kind of hit like a fadeaway jumper. Is that one of the things that you would like to start incorporating maybe?
Of course. That's one of the things that I work on day in, day out, and if you see me working before games, in practice and stuff, I work on those all the time. So just really just having the confidence to pull those is just something that I would love to just have in my back pocket, So down the stretch throughout my career, I'd be ready to make those shots in any given circumstance.
You played some minutes with Jay Huff in the second half. How is that similar or not similar to playing with Kristaps?
No, it's very similar. They're both tall guys, So really just spacing the floor and just giving those guys the opportunity to work whenever they have the ball, or just really just, getting out of the way of each other. That's the main thing. Just because of the simple fact, the two big lineup is something that actually has worked for us throughout the season, and having him in, just kind of like being that guy out there with him, it just worked well for us. It was kind of rough at the beginning because I'm pretty sure he's not used to that, but at the end of the day, we figured it out.
Could he threw you a couple off? I guess just what's that, chemistry dynamic grown? Because he's always been your point guard.
The chemistry has been good. We talk about it all the time. We'll tell him, like, I'm going to get him downhill, just throw the ball up, and if I get you a good screen, attack the big. That's the main thing. Just put your head down and go get you a layup. And then if you get it on the rim, I'm coming up behind you with a small on my back, and I'm going to try to get the offensive board.
What do you want to make the most out of these last 2 games?
Really just, the energy. We came out tonight and we did pretty good. There was a lot of stuff that we could have did better defensively, but all in all, I feel like the effort was there. And I feel like, attention to details was there. But, Atlanta's a good team, and trying to stick with those guys. They're consistent with the things that they do on the floor, offensively and defensively. So, they were the better team tonight. And we just take this as a lesson and just learn from it in these next two.
Jay yesterday was crediting you for helping him get up to speed and all those kind of things. What's been kind of the biggest advice that you've tried to pass on to him?
Really just work on being consistent. That's the main thing, telling him things to do when it comes to just like pick and roll defense and stuff like that. Tonight he got a couple of fouls with Trae on, lunging up in some of the blitzes and stuff, and, guards really just, foam at the mouth when it comes to that. And Trae Young is good at manipulating the game, getting fouls and stuff, so I just kind of like give him advice on just with my experience with just stuff like that. I was used to just lunging up at guys, trying to get guys, trying to be better in just like the coverage and stuff. So I know for a fact that he's trying to learn, and from my experiences, I can help him out a lot.